Well, gang, I have gotten a Nintendo 3DS. Not real sure how to best prove that to you. You can kind of see the screen a little bit. Clearly, I have a analog button over here, so yeah, I guess that means I'm not lying. Actually, guys, I'd like you to excuse the crappy webcam footage here. I want to get this review out to you as quickly as possible. So, where do I begin? Okay, so here's the box and here's some of the crap inside of it. Of course, we got the system and we have the stuff I'm not going to be reading. The instruction manual's so big you can confuse it with a phone book. They've also got some charts over here for some features that I'm probably not going to be looking at. The 3DS has a fairly familiar layout. We've got the Y, X, A, B buttons. Now we also have a select, home, and start sort of bar at the bottom below the touchscreen. The power button, the D-pad, and now an analog stick, or actually analog lily pad, maybe? It's pretty easy to maneuver, actually, and I think it's got a kind of a fine-tuning sort of feature to it, a little better than the original PSP. But really, I'm disappointed that there's not a second lily pad so we can control camera angles in 3D games. That's very important. I'd like to see how Nintendo handles this in the future. Top screen's quite massive, and you've got your rocker over here for the 3D effect. I'm a little disappointed in how straightforward, precisely in front of it you need to be for the 3D effect to work. Dead on balls in front of it, approximately 20 inches away, what have you. If you're anything outside of that, some things will look a little strange. So, then you have another feature that Nintendo's thrown in, which is the directional controls. So now you have to actually move things around. This does come in handy at times, but you lose the 3D aspects. Exploring around a little bit, you've got some interesting features here. You can build a Mii, which I haven't done before because I don't have a Wii. It'll take a picture of you, take its best guess what it thinks you're going to look like as a Mii, and then you end up fine-tuning it to anything other than what it took a picture of. The camera's grainy, but it gets the job done. The best thing I've seen so far is the AR cards. Here's your little packet of AR cards, augmented reality cards. This will really blow your mind if you have not yet seen it. You're gonna place a card like this on a surface and the system will respond to it. You just highlight it with the camera, move it around, it will know the location of the card and transform the surface you've put the card on. You're actually going to be playing video games in and around your house. It's really quite remarkable how well this works. I mean, there were several times where I've tilted the card or I walked around the table to try to shoot arrows at stuff, and it worked out wonderfully. These AR games will have you totally occupied. You're going to be dancing around the table trying to shoot arrows at creatures and stuff. So rad. Everybody knew this thing was going to be cool, so why was I the only person in line at Walmart? This isn't exclusive, it's not like the Luckstones at Sinors.com. The other cards in your packet are like Nintendo characters, and they're going to bring up this little Obi-Wan Kenobi You're My Only Hope kind of hologram effect. Super cool. The 3DS has a lot of features packed into it. I'm not sure how these are going to pan out into the games that the lifespan of this system is going to have. The 3D effect is really nice at first. I ended up turning it off on occasion to try to see what I thought about that, but ultimately turned it back on and then just tried to focus on being in the sweet spot. Another cool feature about it is what they call Street Pass. So you got the thing on and you can set up your Miis to go play with each other people's Miis out there. And the way you go about this actually is you shut it, and then you're going to end up walking by people on the street, or maybe you're sitting on a bus and maybe that'll work. But you walk by people and you collect their Miis and they collect your Mii, and you end up sharing like this. And some of the other games have features like this too. Like, I guess Street Fighter, you pose some figures and you end up walking around town, and other people who've posed figures who also have their system on standby like this, you're going to end up fighting each other. So you'll end up on lunch break and be like, oh hey, I kicked a lot of ass today. But really, what are the chances that someone's going to have everything situated right now, unless you're living like in New York City? You might want to wait a few months maybe before you really get serious about Street Pass. Still, really cool feature. And what I think I like most about that is, it's like Nintendo's giving you a reason to use this system. With Xbox 360, you had the achievements making you want to have to play a lot of new games and everything. With Street Pass, now you want to take your system with you. And I think that's really cool. And of course, we got some returning features here. We've got the SD slot, the volume is over there still. We've got another panel over here for the 3D effect turning on and off. And of course, how can I forget the lovable stylus? Let's pull this sucker out. And it starts out real small like this, and it telescopes. Is this necessary? I don't know. Maybe they felt like there was so much technology jammed up into this mofo that they couldn't fit a full-size stylus in there, and then they thought, you know what, let's make it telescope. I gotta say that this thing looks really cheap and flimsy, in a kind of like metal is fake but actually plastic sort of way. And I still hate using the stylus, to be honest with you. I'm not really a fan of how this works, because here's the thing. Imagine you're playing a game like Grand Theft Auto and it's got these interactions in it, and you're going around and you get up to the toll booth and you have to throw coins into the toll booth, right? It's interesting that you have to do that, and I like the fact that it's now something applied to the touchscreen. However, now you have to carry the stylus with you, okay? So you got a finger over here doing this sort of thing, holding this. You're trying to play, and then you have to pick up away from the pad and the buttons and everything and try to manipulate something else. Games that try to cross over between the control schemes, it's just total fail. I'd rather it work out so it's like an iPhone and you can just move things with your fingers and stuff, instead of like having to like scrape your nail into it or use the stylus, because who really wants to have to whip out the stylus to move things around when you have fingers? That's the step they should have taken. Like, I want to push some buttons over here, maybe move a thumb over real quick. Make the thumb the enabler. I don't really want to have to hold this thing while I'm playing a game. I gotta say, I like what they did with this cradle. Now, usually you plug in a DS system up through the top here. Well, now you can set it and forget it. This works out well because there's really only one way you can stick the 3DS into this thing, and that's correctly. You just plug the cord in through the back. The 3DS detaches easily, and this way you can keep it in the sleep mode for about as long as possible. However, if I compare it to my Palm Priest Touchstone with the magnets and all that, it seems a little archaic. It's hard to give a score to a system because systems rely on the game, so I'm not going to assign any kind of numbers. I'll say this: do you have a DS and you like it? Upgrade. If you don't have a DS, this is going to be the portable system I imagine you're going to want. The special features built into this system for free are almost too amazing. In fact, I haven't even gotten around to unwrapping the 2 games I bought called Pilotwings Resort and Street Fighter. So, expect some reviews on those in the future. Hey, come on, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to leave. I kicked you out of this. Hey, get away from that.